Hi everyone, you're here sewing with Cody, and in today's video I'm so excited to announce our new quilt along. So it's something new I'm trying. It's stuff we've done in the store before, different quilting classes and whatnot, but I wanted to do something online so everybody everywhere can participate at any time and there's no charge. And this is the project that we'll be working with. And so what it's going to be is it's going to be a different block every week. And some weeks there may be two blocks because some blocks are a lot easier than others. But I have it set up so it's very basic. So somebody who's never quilted before, or somebody who just dabbled in it, or just beginner, super beginner, or someone who's more advanced and wants something to follow along. And each week we do a different block, and you can see the 11 different blocks we'll be doing here. And so each week there'll be a video from step by step on how to make each individual block. And then on my blog, I'll also have PDF files that you can download or even just view on the blog post that show you step by step from cutting each individual piece to laying everything out to sewing to pressing, different tips and things that I've got. There'll be more detail in the video than on the PDF, and that's why I've got both of them. It's so much easier to explain things on a video. But let's talk more about the quilt and the blocks that we'll be making. So what we're going to be using is, this is our main tool. This is the Lazy Angle by Creative Grid. The designer is Joan Hawley, and this grid is phenomenal. So as most of you know, Creative Grid rulers are just fantastic. This one is exceptionally fantastic because look at all of these different blocks that you can create just with this one ruler. And if you notice, they're all different, most of them are different sizes, and that's because with this ruler you can make all these blocks 6 different sizes. This being one of the smallest sizes, and this being these 10.5-inch or finished 10-inch blocks, or some of the larger sizes. And so we've got multitude of different sizes that we're going to be using to create this quilt, but there are more sizes that are available just using the ruler. And so that's what I wanted to show. This is just an introductory of what I'm planning on doing, or what I am doing. I've got most of the videos already created, and the documents already ready to go. But I wanted to share what we're going to be doing and what's going to make this is going to be a fun class. That's basically what I wanted to do. I wanted to give everybody something to do because everybody's always looking for different projects. And I know I enjoy following along either weekly or doing like a block of the month. And that's basically what it is. It's just a more fast-paced block of the month. So we're just doing it every week. And I've got all the video support to support it. So all we really need, this is your main, your tool. The supply list is very simple. I have the introductory supply list and the introductory PDF file on my blog already. And so it tells you everything that you need from the Lazy Angle ruler. I do recommend, which most of you already have if you've been quilting for any length of time. It's like a 6.5 by 24.5-inch ruler. This is great for just cutting your fabric. The strips you'll be using just straight off the yardage that you bought from the store. And of course, I do always use like a 6.5-inch ruler, some type of square that's not too big, but not too tiny, but great for just squaring off corners of your fabric and kind of trimming some dog ears, and for squaring off your individual little blocks before you sew them and create your full block. And I've got the yardage for all the fabric. So the fabric that I use here, this is Free Spirit. They're solids, they're designer solids. And in the PDF file, I've got all the fabric listed so you can see what I'm actually using if you want to replicate anything. I know many people out there, they want to know what fabric was used in the quilt sample or in the quilt pattern cover. And so I have all that on the PDF. So basically all we're going to need yardage wise is basically a yard of everything with the exception of the background. The purple in this case. So the purple I use, I got about 1.25 yards, something a little extra because there was more being used than the pink, the teal, and the white background. But you can pick whatever you want. But there's one stipulation. The fabric, with the exception of the purple, needs to be a solid. That's the most important thing. the lazy angle ruler and the fact that your fabric that are in each individual block needs to be a solid. I can't emphasize that enough. It just makes cutting, just makes sewing so much easier. Because when you start introducing a print of any type or a fabric that has a right or a distinctive right or wrong side, it makes it quite difficult, especially for a beginner, to cut out your pieces. So in all my videos and the instructions, I'm only using solids. So it doesn't matter which way you flip the fabric, it's going to work. Using a print, you're going to have a lot of waste, and it's going to be extra steps that are going to need to be taken to get the right pieces. So if you work with the solid, it'll be so much easier. Now, as for the purple, like I said, and whatever you put here in the borders, or whatever you decide to do with your quilt beyond the blocks, you can use whatever you want. But for the blocks, I do highly, highly recommend that you use a solid. Other than that, we're just going to have a fun time. So all the videos will be posted, and then around the same time, the PDF instructions will be posted on my blog. All that will be linked from the videos on YouTube. And so 1 block a week. Also, if you have any questions, any comments, my email address is on the PDF, it's on the YouTube, but also I do highly encourage that you put your questions in the comment section of the YouTube video. One, that makes it easy for everybody to see your question, because from teaching, as long as I've been doing all these different classes, more than one person has that same exact question. So when we're dealing with people all over the world with these videos, if you have a question, someone else may have that same exact question. Instead of them asking the same question over again, they can see in the comment section my answer to whatever your question was. And so this makes it great and easy for everyone if you put your question in the comment section, but still feel free to email me any questions. And as I mentioned in the introductory PDF document, that whatever questions, especially email, please allow at least 24 hours for me to reply, because I'm all over the place with whatever I'm doing. And so I don't always have time to check the emails, especially every hour or so. So by at least get to them, or we'll be getting to them for this segment, at least once a day for sure. Now, do my best to reply with the best answer possible, of course. But I'm just super excited to play with these different blocks and show y'all how to use them and how to create them using this lazy angle ruler. And so you can go so above and beyond what this quilt sampler is. So you can make a beautiful quilt just with a few different blocks, just constantly being repeated. But the possibilities are endless. So more about the quilt sample that we'll be finishing. So like I mentioned before, all the fabric is Free Spirit. They're designer solids. And I have all this listed on the introductory document on the blog. And the quilting is all ruler work quilting. I love quilting and I love using rulers. And my favorite ruler designer has to be Amanda Murphy. I absolutely love her rulers. They're just perfect in just every way. And her design support and her videos and her rulers just absolutely fantastic. So this entire quilt was quilted on the Q16, the Bernina Q16, which is fully stitch regulated, but they're all using a few of her different rulers, from the ribbon candy rulers to her every circle, and my absolute favorite, which are her oval rulers. So we can see them here, and we can also see them in each of the 10.5-inch blocks. And as most of you know, I absolutely love quilting with isocord polyester thread, and that's what's used on the entire quilt is isocord polyester thread, and the binding was put on using Wonderfill and Visifil, the 100-weight thread. And so once we get everything finished, of course I will do videos on quilting the project, because as I film all the videos, I'm recreating this entire quilt all over again, and it's going to look identical. But it was a super fun project, and I hope that it's as much fun for y'all as it was for me when I created it. So let's get your ruler and let's have a fun time. So anybody who's interested in the ruler who doesn't have it, first, definitely check your local quilt shop. We always want to shop small and support our local quilt shops. But if you don't have one local or they don't carry creative grids, you can call our shop, which is all listed in the form in the description of this video, and also in the introductory document that's on my blog. You can call, you can email the shop. Otherwise, some of you may already have the ruler and have never used it. But let's have a fun time, get your fabric, get your ruler, and let's get started. All right, and as always, happy sewing.